Namo Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi
Which one? No.
Hare Krishna Hare
Something is
Krishna
there in
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama
Yeah.
Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Something is there. Oh. If it is hot, then yeah. No, it's hard. Something is there in. Oh, potatoes. I heard something.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Naktapradeshwabhadrevu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavat Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishthiti Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Let us recite from first canto 1.1.5. Taye kadatu manayaha pratar huta hutagnayaha satam sudamasinam prachuridamadara taye kadatu manayaha pratar huta hutagnayaha Satam sudamasinam prachuridamadara taye kadatu manayaha pratar huta hutagnayaha satam sudamasinam prachuridamadara
ekadatu munayah
sa ekadatu munayah
pratar huta hutagnayaha Satkritam sutam asinam prachur idam adara sa ekadatu munayah pratar huta hutagnayaha Satkritam sutam asinam prachur idam adara
ta ekadatu munayah pratar huta hutagnayaha satkritam sutam asinam prachuridamadara
te sages ekada one day two but munayah sages pratah morning huta burning huta agnayah sacrificial fire satkritam due respect sutam Suta Goswami asinam sit down Paprachuhu made inquiries. Idam on this as follows. Adarat with due regard. Translation powered by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. One day, after finishing their morning duties by burning a sacrificial fire and offering a seat of esteem to Srila Suta Goswami, the great sages made inquiries with great respect about the following matters. Morning is the best time to hold spiritual services. The great sages offered the speaker of the Bhagavatam an elevated seat of respect called Vyasasana, or the seat of Sri Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is the original spiritual preceptor for all men, and all other preceptors are considered to be his representatives. A representative is one who can exactly present the viewpoint of Sri Vyasadeva. Sri Vyasadeva impregnated the message of Bhagavatam unto Srila Shukadeva Goswami. And Sri Shukadeva Goswami heard it from him. Sri Suta Goswami heard it from Sri Shukadeva Goswami. All bona fide representatives of Sri Vyasadeva in the chain of disciplic succession are to be understood to be Goswamis. These Goswamis restrain all their senses and they stick to the path made by the previous acharyas. The Goswamis do not deliver lectures on the Bhagavatam capriciously. Rather, they execute their services most carefully, following the predecessors who delivered the spiritual message unbroken to them. Those who listen to Bhagavatam may put questions to the speaker in order to elicit the clear meaning, but this should not be done in the challenging spirit. One must submit questions with great regard for the speaker and subject matter. This is also the way recommended in the Bhagavad Gita. One must learn the transcendental subject by submissive all reception from the right sources. Therefore, these sages address the speaker, Suta Goswami, with great respect. So, Prabhupada writes here, morning is the best time to hold spiritual activities. So therefore, one day after finishing their morning duties, it is mentioned, for performing their morning duties. Every spiritual path has certain tenets given to the practitioner, which has to be taken very seriously. For example, in the path of Karma Yoga, you will see, it is said that one should live life as a Nishkam Karma Yogi. Nishkam Karma Yogi means, who is Nishkam Karma Yogi? One who performs work and offers the fruits. There are two aspects mentioned. One is work, and the one is fruits. Nishkam Karma Yogi should try to give up which one? Work or fruits? Fruits, yeah. He should try to give up. He should do Karma Phala Tyaga. That's how he begins. We should not give up the work itself, but we should give the fruits that come from work. Therefore, one begins like that. And then gradually, as he gives up the fruits to Krishna service, over a period of time, he gets purified. By that purification, gradually jnana arises. What is the jnana that arises? That nothing belongs to me. Idam na mama. Idam na mama means it doesn't belong to me. So gradually, when that arises, then the attachment to work itself will be gone. Earlier, there was attachment to work and the fruits. Later on, the attachment to work also will be finished. Which means, for example, somebody makes a gulab jamun in the kitchen, and then they will come and ask the devotee, I made gulab jamun, did you like it? Did you like it? Everybody will say, go made it, I made it. That means we take the fruits of the action. Correct? Because we want to take the credit for doing that particular work. Like one day in our Pune temple, there was an announcement made regarding book distribution. So the announcer was standing close to the deities and saying, so-and-so Prabhu distributed 21 books, he said. And that devotee was very behind sitting near Prabhupada. He got up and pushed through the crowd, moving. Everybody came to the front and said, Prabhu, that is not 21, it's 71. So some devotees got disturbed. Why is he pushing everybody and going to the front? So later on, he came and asked me. So on that day, Gauranga Prabhu had come to Pune. I told Gauranga Prabhu that some devotees are disturbed by this devotee behavior. What do you think? He just laughed it up. He said, see, earlier this fellow might have been counting cricket scores. Now he's counting book scores. Now he fully listen. And tell these people, after some time, you will stop counting book scores also. That detachment will come. That means detachment from the fruits of action will eventually come. He said. So in this way, one gives up the... and then later on, one will say that one will become such an expert gulab jamun maker. Everybody has appreciated so much. Over the years, he gets fed up with appreciation. He doesn't know. Now he knows very well, everybody likes it anyway. He will not go around asking, but he's attached to do cooking gulab jamun. There is one devotee in our Pune community who cooks jalebis. Whenever jalebi is made, you can know that who has made it. That devotee has made it. He is a jalebi maker. He's an expert hand for that. So then the fruits go away. I mean, you give up the fruits, but eventually you may be attached to the work. But later on, the attachment to the work itself goes away. Which means you go to the devotees and say that, Prabhu, whatever service I have to do, you tell me I will do. You tell me to do the backup, I will do backup. Tell me to be a master of ceremony in a big program, I will be master of ceremony. Tell me leading service or background service, I will do. In this way, gradually the detachment from the fruits happens, and then detachment from work happens. When detachment from work happens, that is the time when jnana arises that I am not the body, I am spirit, soul. Then that leads one to which yoga? Jnana yoga. That is jnana, because what has arisen in the heart? I am not the body, I am spirit, soul. And that is by karma yoga, offering fruits and offering the work, gradually that jnana will arise. When jnana arises, then a person comes to the point, I am not the body, I am spirit, soul. Then aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi. So in that platform, what one should do, the dharma changes. Now earlier you were offering the fruits and offering work and all, but now you have to study the very little, very extensively. In the path of jnana yoga, one should study all the four Vedas and Upanishads and Puranas and Vedanta and all the different corollaries. One should be vastly learned. Anybody quotes from anywhere in the Upanishads or Vedas or Puranas, we should be able to immediately understand it and we should know the reference. Yes, this is from this place. Just like we study Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita and ISKCON, we should like that one should be vastly learned. So the jnana is actually study sometimes 15 hours also in a day. 15, 18 hours also they may study. Therefore, once Shankara saw one old jnani sitting, was 80 plus, he was studying Panini grammar, Sandhi Vichhed and other things he was learning. So Shankaracharya saw that and told him that this grammatical study is not going to help you at the time of death. Chant Govinda's name, he told him. So that means jnana is, whatever time they became jnani, from that time they will study a lot. That's one of their activities. If a jnani is not learned, he is considered foolish, he is not considered a jnani at all. So, in jnana yoga path, one should not only study the Vedic literature, one should also do vimarshana. Vimarshana means analysis. For example, what is Satya? What is Asatya? We need the Viveka Buddhi. We need to have a very sharp sword like Viveka Buddhi. Even Krishna uses the word. He says, Asanga Shastrena Dridhena Chitva. He's saying in the 14th chapter, you will see, Bhagavad Gita. You will need a sharp sword of detachment, which comes by sharp knowledge of Viveka Buddhi. So that Viveka Buddhi will tell you that this is Maya, don't go near this. This is eternal, this is temporary. So this kind of Viveka Buddhi should be arisen by not only Shastric study, but also by comparison, contrast, analysis, seeing from various angles, and looking at the world with Shastra Chakshu, and evaluation. All these abilities of the intelligence are utilized by the jnani in order to clearly see the difference between Sat and Asat, temporary and permanent. That takes long time actually. Therefore, if you see, there is one this thing called as Vidyasan, we call it. Let me show you. Vidyasan means Nirantaram Vicharoya Shruta Arthasya Guror Mukhat. That means Nirantaram Vicharo. After hearing from Guru Mukhat, hearing from Guru, you should Nirantaram Vicharo means what? Continuously keep thinking about it. What? Yaha Shruta Arthasya. Yeah.
Possible to share.
I can. How to share the screen?
No, he's on Zoom.
You have Zoom ID, right?
You have to connect to the Zoom.
Tell me the number. New meeting.
916 4947 3119. Password is 108.
I have to share it.
Recording.
I'll share it.
Close.
Okay.
That one close.
You can just
How
open
does-
the document.
In my yes.
Okay.
Scared.
Okay. So, see, Nirantara Vicharaya Shruta Ardasya Guru Mukha Tan Nididhyasanam Proktam Tache Kagriyena Labhyate. By that Ekagrata comes, he says, no? By that kind of vichar. That means Nirantaram Vichara means what? Repeatedly one should think what you have heard. Same thing is in Bhagavatam also. Tad dhyayanto pujayantascha nityadavata tad dhyayanto japantascha pujayantascha nityadavata. In Pracheta section it comes. After hearing from Guru, one should meditate on the meaning repeatedly what Guru has spoken. And Japandasya means we should preach it to other people also. Not only should you hear from Guru, you should meditate on it and you should tell it to other people. And by that, what will happen? It will become a constant feature in your mind. Tad dhyayanto japantasya pujayantasya means keep the Guru's instruction on the highest altar and worship it daily. And in this way, tad nididhyasanam proktam. That is called nididhyasana, he says. Tache kagriyena labhyate. And by that, one point focus is achieved. Now, in that, there are many aspects in that. There are 4 sampattis, they call it, 4 disciplines, sadhana chatushtayam. See, the first one, nitya anitya vastu vivekam. You need to learn about what is nitya and what is anitya, and the difference between the two. So, nitya anitya vastu vivekam. Yeah, nitya anitya vastu vivekam means the what is temporary, what is permanent. That is one. And then iha amutra artha phala bhoga viragam is saying. Iha means the material world. Amutra means the heavenly planets also. Earthly or heavenly artha phala means the enjoyment of the objects. Bhoga viragam means one should bhogaishwarya prasaktanam by knowing that after, as I told you the previous one, nitya anitya vastu vivekam, after it comes in you, then iha or amutra artha phala bhoga viragam. You develop vairagya for earthly and heavenly pleasures. You develop viragya because already you know this nitya anitya vastu vivekam has come. When the vivekam comes, it reaches in the second step. Third step is samadhi shakka sampatti. What is a shakka sampatti? There are 6 aspects of samadhi. Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadha. So, Shama means Antakarana includes 3 things, Man, Buddhi, Ahankar, and Chitta also. All the 4 are called Antakarana. Chitta is the subconscious mind. And Dama means 10 senses actually. 5 Jnanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas. You call Dama if you control them. And Uparati means, the cessation of these external is so restrained from the pursuit of objects. Other than that. That means it may mean the abandonment of the prescribed works according to Scriptural. It is a very advanced stage where you give up the work itself, I told you. Yastvat maratire vasyat atmadaktashthamanavah atmani eva santushtah asya karyam na vidyate. That person has no work to do. One who has become satisfied in the self and he has no hankering for material objects, and one who is delighting in self, not only satisfied. So, like it says. And then Titiksha means you have to tolerate the tapatraya. Tapatraya is, 3 types of 3-4 miseries one should tolerate. Shraddha means faith in Guru and the Vedas. And Samadhan means concentrating on the mind on God and Guru. So that's Samadhi, from that word Samadhan. So Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, they call it as a Shakka Sampatti. So the third thing one achieves. And subsequently, Mumukshutvam. The firm conviction that the nature of the material world is misery and intense longing for moksha. So through the Shravana and Manana and these are to be done. So now, in order for jnanis to do this, they have to study the scriptures very deeply for this purpose only. As I told you, what is nitya anitya viveka, nitya anitya vastu vivekam. To know this difference between what is temporary, what is permanent, what should be aspect for, what should be given up, and all those things. So now I told you about Jnana Marga. Then as Jnanis develop, they come to a stage where Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Shvachati Na Kankshati. They neither lament for anything losses in the material world. One time Janak Maharaj was a little late for the Bhagavatam class in his Sabha. And the Brahmanas were sitting. And one Brahmana commented that you see our king is a busy man. He is always absorbed in management. He has to do so many things. Our class cannot wait for him. Let us start the class. Like that they said. And the speaker said, but our king doesn't like to miss any part of the class. He likes to attend from the beginning. So we want to, begin when he comes. So when he was about to begin, the king arrived hastily. He arrived and came and sat down. Every day he used to hear a class in the morning. So as the class proceeded, somebody brought a news that there is a fire that is spreading everywhere in our kingdom, different places, all around the town. So the news as well, and it is also spreading in that area of the Brahmana Sagranaram, that locality also. Immediately all the Brahmanas got up to catch him under the doti, they ran. And the king didn't run. The king was sitting, he called the ministers and said, please look into the matter, what it is. Please put out the fire. He said, and then just continue the class. So at that time, the fellows understood that the king is quite detached. He has his people to do the work, and he knows that they will do the work and he doesn't have to take tension. In this world, you will see many times we only have to do some work. But along while doing that work, we also take tension. You agree? How many of you can say that, yes, some very vital work, I only have to do it, but I don't take tension? Can you say that? No. That requires what? Detachment. And king had the detachment. Therefore, he's called as a Janaka Videha. It has a double meaning. Janaka Videha means he was actually the Videhaka Raja. He's the king of Videha province. But another meaning is Janaka Videha means the king without body. Without body means he has no bodily consciousness. He's detached completely. So, in this way, Na Shochati, he has no lamentation. Ana Kamshati means there is no hankering for anything. Absolutely no hankering at all. Like Lord Ramachandra, for example, he was told by the father that I am trying to make you heir apparent. Heir apparent means Rajkumar. And then tomorrow we are going to coronate you. And the next day he was told that you have to go to forest for 14 years. Was there any change in the face cut of Lord Ram? There was no change. That is actually Nakamshati. No hankering for Rajasuka Loka. He was completely free from that. He only told his father and mother that I only want to see that you both are pleased with me. I hope I don't displease you in any way. If my going to forest will please you, I will happily do it. He said like that. And he didn't have any kind of vengeance towards his stepmother, Kaikeyi at all. In fact, when Lakshman had some bad opinion about Kaikeyi, Ram corrected it. He said, they are all elders, they know what is best for us. We should accept like that he spoke. So, when Jnani also comes to the stage of Na Shochite, Na Kamshati, at the time what happens? Mad Bhakti, Bhakti Param. From there, the Bhakti begins. But Bhakti, how it begins? It begins with Ashtanga Yoga. Because when the Jnani matures up, at that time, the maturity of a Jnani leads him to the point of meditation on the Supersoul. So, the meditation on the Supersoul is, you go to the forest, when you become a Yoga Ruda, and then there are procedures given. What I have to do, the 6th chapter is given. 6th and 8th chapter, you will read about that. So, there, Dhyana Vasita Taddate Ramanasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino. In the heart, one sees the Supersoul. So, there are 3 objects called the Akshata Vishayam. 3 objects for meditation. For those who are Jnanis, it's Param Jyoti. And for those who are Paramatmavadis, Ashtanga Yogis, for them, Sarvabhuta Guhavasam, the Lord residing in the heart of all living beings. And once he matures up in that, Ashtanga Yogi goes from Yama, Niyama, Pranayama, Asana, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi when he comes. At that stage, in Samadhi, he is seeing the beautiful form of Vishnu, either standing Vishnu or he is lying in the milk ocean. The beautiful form of the Lord he sees in the heart continuously, smiling face of the Lord. He is charmed by that form. So, but he is in Shantaras, considering Lord to be my master and I am his servant, that's all. He is admiring, not even servant, he has admiration for the Lord's form. So, from that point, if he gets association of pure devotees, then he goes to the Bhakti Yoga. So, I told you, Jnani meditates on Param Jyoti and Yogi meditates on Sarvabhuta Guhavasam. And what does Bhakta meditate upon? Bhagavantam adokshajam, it says. Bhagavantam means, Bhaga, the word comes means 6 occupancies. Adokshajam means one who is beyond the range of the senses. Then you come to Bhakti Yoga. So in that, now for Ashtanga Yogis, what is the prescription? I told you about Jnana Yogis, what all they have to do. Ashtanga Yogis, what they have to do? Ashtanga Yoga means austerities. Like Yama means Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Yamaha. 5 things is saying. Ahimsa means you can't injure any living entity by thought, word, or deed. And Satya means you should always speak truth without speaking any lie to anybody. Asteya means never steal the credit that is due for others, because you will always live a life in tension if you steal the credit meant for others. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya. Brahmacharya means, Prishipad Ramanacharya says, Brahmacharya means don't look at women with a bad eye. Like in Indian lawyers, they write, the Buddha Nazar Kala, Buddha Nazar Wala, Tera Mo Kala. So don't see women with a bad eye. That is Brahmacharya, Ramanacharya says. And 5th one, Aparigraha means do not accumulate more than what you need. If somebody gives you a dozen mangoes, don't keep it in your locker and take one every day. Take one mango and give it away to others. You may ask, what about tomorrow? Tomorrow somebody else will give you. Aparigraha. Have a habit of sharing with other living entities. And Shaucha Santosha Swadhyaya Japa Ishwar Pranidhani Niyama. Another 5 he says that do's and don'ts. But the Shaucha means keep your body, mind and words clean. Shaucha. Santosha means be satisfied with God-given gifts. Do not hanker for what you don't have. Don't look at others and don't be greedy. Whatever you deserve, God has given you already. Look at what God has given you. Are you using it well? See it. Don't see what others are at. So, Shaucha, Santosha. Swadhyaya means study of the scriptures. Japa means chanting of the holy name. And Ishvara Pranidhani, developing a disposition of dependence on the Lord's lotus feet. So cultivate these 5 things. So this is Yama Niyama. And then Pranayama means, breathing exercises we do in order to calm the mind. Asanas means we do the yogasanas to calm the senses. Because the senses and mind become calmed by these 2 activities, but there's a very important thing to be known. Pranayama cannot purify the mind, it can settle the mind. Whereas chanting of the holy name can purify the mind. What's the difference between the 2? If you settle the dust in a glass, you take a spoon and stir it, again it will come. And like that, Bhagavatam says that. Yunjananam abhaktanam pranayamadivirmanaha akshinavasanam rajan drishyate punaruttitam. It says, drishyate dekajata punaruttitam. Again the old vasanas come. For whom? Those are abhaktas and those who are yogis. Yunjananam abhaktanam, those who are doing yama and niyama and all those things. That means if he doesn't become a Krishna Bhakta, then simply doing pranayam doesn't help him. Pranayam only settles the dust. It doesn't remove the dust. Whereas chanting of the holy name uproots the dust completely. So, but still pranayama is helpful to calm the mind. Because calm mind is conducive for further meditation. So pranayam and then asanas. And pratyahara means for the 5 senses, we should only take spiritual inputs and we should negate material inputs. Like eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. These senses. Because there are always moving objects in this world, one should not get allured by them. So in this world, one should avoid the temptations. So for that, the pratyahara is kept. Pratyahara literally means pratyahara means shut down your senses for impure inputs. That's the meaning of that. And that's not a very easy thing to do. Like they say, don't see bad, don't hear bad, don't speak bad, like 3 monkeys. Similar to that, pratyahara. And then comes, when you do all these things, then your body and mind and become calm, cool, collected and settled, and they are almost ready for starting your meditation. From there you start dharana. Dharana means now we can hold the mantra. What is the mantra given to Dhruva Maharaj? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So you could hold the mantra after doing all these things. Dharana. Dharana means to hold it. Dhyana means, actually dharana means 12 seconds you can hold an object in the mind. And dhyana means 12 into 12, 144 seconds you can hold. And samadhi means 12 into 12 into 12. Totally it comes to 25 minutes, I think 28 seconds, 28, close to half an hour. Huh? If you can continuously hold an object in the mind for half an hour, that means you reach samadhi without any diversion or distraction like that. What is the purpose of holding that spiritual object of holy name in our mind? Holy name is not different from the Lord's personality. So if you keep holding the name in the tongue, chanting it and holding it and not letting the mind wander, eventually the Lord's beautiful form will be manifested, because from the name manifests form, from the form manifests qualities, from the qualities manifest the pastimes. And once the pastimes are seen by the devotee in the heart, are revealed by the Lord, then the devotee loses the external state of consciousness, and it's called the samadhi, absorption. He is transported to Siddha Deha. So the sadhana Deha is here in this world, but he enters into Siddha Deha, where he enters into the Lila, Nitya Lila. So there, even while being in this world, we can do that. So one can achieve that platform. So therefore, the yogi meditates like this, and that Ashtanga yogi, when he reaches the state of samadhi, in that state, he comes to the point of bhakta yogi. What is it? Yogi nama pisarvesham madhyate namtaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yoma same yuktatamo matah. Best yogi is one who becomes a bhakti yogi. But then before that, we have to say Ashtanga yogi has to do severe austerities. You will see that Dhruva Maharaj had first 1 month, he was eating, I think once in 3 days, he was eating one kapita fruit, which was tasteless fruit. Because he thought I have to control my tongue. So tasteless food he ate. Then in the second month, once in 6 days, he ate only grasses. Third month, once in 9 days, he ate only water, drank only water. Fourth month, once in 12 days, he drank only air. The fifth month, he stopped taking in air also. Then all the whole universe, all the universal beings like demigods, they got suffocated. They all went to report to Vishnu. And then Vishnu came in the 6th month to give him darshan. So you can see the kind of severe austerities that Dhruva Maharaj underwent. When Prabhupada wrote the purport in Bhagavatam, Dhruva Maharaj, I heard that when that was released, after reading the purport, devotees are so amazed to perform austerity. Some devotees went to the rooftop and standing on one leg, like Dhruva, trying to chant Hare Krishna with one leg. So Prabhupada heard the news of devotees' austerity, when some devotees reduced eating and everything. Prabhupada asked, what has happened suddenly? Devotees have become so austere. This is Prabhupada, the effect of your Dhruva Maharaj purport. So, of course, in Krishna consciousness, we don't have to do so much austerity. Standing on one leg, eating grasses, all those things. But when we come to Bhakti Yoga, we should know, in Bhakti, for the Bhakti Yogi's path, there are certain prescriptions which, if we don't take seriously, the path of Bhakti Yoga will not produce results. You may claim to be Bhakti Yogi. Wearing a tilak and kantimala is not something that makes us Bhakti Yogi immediately. There's one verse, famous verse sung by, often he will sing this. So our Devotional Krishna Babaji will sing this. Gaurarame, Gaurarame, mukhe bolile nahi chale. Gaurara achara, Gaurara vichara, loila phala phale. You know what he says? Gaurarami, Gaurarami. Don't claim that I am father of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Simply saying that doesn't make you follower, he says. Gaurara achar, Gaurara vichar. 2 things you have to follow. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's behavior you should emulate in your life. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy you should accept. Then only you are Chaitanya's follower, he says. Loka dekana gaura bhaja tilaka matra dhari gopanete atyachara gaur dhari churi. You know what he says? Hey, for the sake of showing off to the people, you wear a tilak and kantimala and keep a bead bag around your neck, looking like a beautiful devotee. But secretly you are doing hypocritical activities. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not spare you, he will not forgive you, he will punish you. Go to the ritual. Lord Chaitanya becomes angry when he sees hypocritical behavior. One should become a kapti. He's not a kapata pavan. He's what pavan? Patita pavan. So he says this. So, therefore, in the path of Bhakti Yoga, we are not a show bottle. We have to be true Bhakti Yogis. So, what are the tenets of Bhakti Yoga which are emphasized for Bhakti Yogi? We will see. What is the first and foremost thing in the path of Bhakti Yoga emphasized? Most important thing that gives you spiritual progress. There are 5 potent forms of devotion service. Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavata Shravan Madhurava Shri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan. These are the 5 things. Sadhu Sangha means association with advanced devotees. Association means what? 3 things. Spiritual discussion, knowledge transmission, heart transformation is equal to association. Very simple thing. There should be, if you meet devotees, there has to be spiritual discussion. If you don't hear any spiritual subject matter from a devotee, but 5 of you jointly went to a movie, to watch a movie, that is not association. Isn't it? Actually, it has to be spiritual discussion. And there has to be knowledge transmission means, I was not aware of something, but today I came to know. I heard something and I learned something. Oh, this I never knew about Krishna. Krishna is so wonderful. So there is knowledge transmission. And then that should result in heart transformation. What is heart transformation? Brigari. A cruel-hearted Brigari became compassionate Brigari. A arrogant Rahugana, he became a humble Rahugana. No, you find like that. Yeah. In the same manner, somebody who has who is greedy, for example, he becomes satisfied. Somebody like Ajamila was lusty rogue. His heart became filled with love for God. Subsequently, by meeting with Vishnu Buddha, you will find like that. Similarly, Durvasa Muni was an angry sage. But after watching the beautiful Vaishnava qualities of Ambarish Maharaj, his anger was driven out. He gave up his anger and became friendly with Ambarish Maharaj by speaking one famous verse at the end. Avo anantadasanam mahatam drishtam adhyame kritagasopi yadrajan mangalani samivase. He's saying, what wonderful the devotees of Krishna are. He's saying that I tried to kill this fellow, but he prayed for my protection. Such is the nature of the Vaishnava devotees. He says, and then he said, I will go to Siddhaloka, and there I will tell the pastime which just happened with me and Ambarish. He says, somebody asked Durvasa, but in this story you are villain. Because Ambarish Maharaj is the hero. He says, never mind, no problem. I want to glorify this Vaishnava. I am so inspired by his behavior that I want to go and tell all the Siddha yogis there, like he says. So, in this way, you find that the transformation should take place. For Durvasa Muni, transformation took place. Brigari transformation took place. You find like that. Aharaguna, Jamila, all these example stories of transformation. So, what did I say as association? 3 things. Spiritual discussion, knowledge transmission, heart transmission. This is Sadhu Sangha. And Nama Kirtan means the chanting of the holy name. Actually, ideally speaking, chanting of the holy name should be done with a Niraparad Bhavana. Niraparad Bhavana, Nisahaya Bhavana, Nishkapat Bhavana. 3 things are said. Niraparad Bhavana is free from offenses. And Nishkapat Bhavana is without any duplicity. 7th offense is duplicity. And Nisahaya Bhavana means helplessly it should be chanted. The holy name should be called out helplessly. Like a child crying for the mother. One time Prabhupada observed one case small children ducks were quacking. Some were bigger, some were smaller. And the mother brought some eatable for them. And there was one small duck, smallest of the lot, that was making the biggest sound. He was small in size. He was making sound, opening the mouth fully. The mother understood amongst all of them who is most hungry, the smallest one. So the mother gave the food to that one. Other bigger ones are not making so much sound. Pak, they were saying. They were not very serious. They were like Dilatala Sadaka, like that. So they were pak, and mother understood. I think this was eaten in between something. Some people between morning and evening they eat something, no? And evening you go and ask, Prabhuji, Prasad ready, are you coming? They will ask, what is the menu? I can take later, correct, no? Yeah. So mother also thought they must have eaten something in between. But for one who made the biggest quack sound he got, similar chanting of the holy name should be done very intensely. So this is Nama Kirtan, correct? No? Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan. Third one, Bhagavata Shravan. How should the Bhagavata Shravan be done? It should be done like Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was so attentive. When Shukadev Goswami said, after the Agasura Leela was over, 1 year later the boys went and narrated it to their mothers. Immediately Parikshit put a sudden break and said, wait a minute, why 1 year? What was happening in the 1 year time? Then Shukadev Goswami spoke what Leela? Brahma Vimukha Leela he spoke. And that led to that. Otherwise, you all would have missed Brahma Leela if he didn't ask the question. Imagine Parikshit was dozing a little bit, you would have missed that past time. Correct? No? You would not have heard that. Another time, when Shukadev Goswami said, that was on Kaliya Nag, which came to Vrindavan and took shelter of Yamuna and Krishna danced on Kaliya and drove it away. And then he was going ahead with further pastimes. He said, wait a minute, who is Kaliya Nag? Where did he come from? Why did he come and take shelter of Yamuna? How did Krishna dance on him and subdue his pride? Please tell me all this in very great detail. He said, do not try to cut it short. Generally, we say, please wind up as soon as possible. But he says the opposite way. Don't speak long, we say. But he is telling elaborate. That is, Bhagavatam should be heard with enthusiasm. It should be heard with enthusiasm, it should be heard with attentiveness. You can see that. Yeah. He also says in one verse, Naishat Ati Dusaha, Mom. He says, you know what he says? He says, do not think maybe I may not be able to tolerate my hunger or thirst. Last so many days I didn't sleep also at night. I didn't eat, I didn't drink, I didn't sleep. Maybe you may be thinking that therefore you are winding up fast. He said, don't think like that. This Amritam, what you are giving me, that is nectar for me, he says. And in this way, that is Bhagavata Shravan. Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtan, Bhagavata Shravan. And Mathura was, either one should make one's home into a temple, or one should reside in Vrindavan. Or one can live in Vrindavan consciousness. Like Prabhupada is living in Bhavari, but in what consciousness? Vrindavan consciousness. Mathura was. Some devotees told Prabhupada, hippies, Prabhupada, we are very sorry to bring you to such a dirty place. Prabhupada said, why do you say dirty place? This is Vaikuntha. He said, Vaikuntha? How do you see Vaikuntha here? But Prabhupada said, because you all are chanting Hare Krishna. Wherever people are chanting Hare Krishna, that is Vaikuntha. He said. So, and Prabhupada said, if you go to Vrindavan and other places, sometimes you find in some temple, there is nobody in the temple hall to chant and dance and glorify the Lord. Because they have machines attached to them. Ding, tong, tong, ding, tong, tong. You heard that? Any of you have seen that? In India, you will find in some temples. Whole temple hall is Kali. And only ding, tong, tong, they have mechanized, beating systems there. They just switch on. The pujari switches on and goes to perform arati. And here ding, tong, tong goes on like that. But Prabhupada said, in our ISKCON temples, devotees dance, devotees sing, devotees play instruments. Devotees offer Bhoga Lord. 2 times a day the prayers change, 6 times a day the Bhoga is offered. This is real opulence. Temple means real opulence is the devotees in the temple. So, in this way, this is Mathura Vas. And then Srimurtira Shraddhaya Seva. The deity form of the Lord should be worshipped with great affection. Actually, the Lord is called Prem Pujari. You know that famous song? Duryodhana ke bhog na khayo. Ruk sak vidurdhar kayo, aise prem pujari Radheshyam. He's called as Prem Pujari. Which means where there is love, he will manifest. Where there is no love, he will not manifest. Like in Govinda Konda, with great love and affection, who was chanting? Madhaviri. And Lord is in the bushes. He came in his dream and said, please, bring me out of the bush and place me on the top of Govardhan Hill and worship me. The Lord said, because you are here, you are a lover of me, and you are such a pure devotee. You are calling me with so much affection. Therefore, I want to accept the worship from you. But prior to you, there was nobody to take care of me, so I became hidden in the bush. So wherever there is a devotee, faithfully, sincerely, seriously glorifying the Lord, worshiping the Lord, praising the Lord, Lord is ready to manifest. Yatra Gayati Mad Bhakta Tattva Tishtami Narada, he says. So these 5 are the most important things. And all these 5 are given by Srila Prabhupada in the morning program. That is what is the connection here. Morning is the best time to hold spiritual services. If you see the first prayer we do, Mangalarati, it is very important for us. How many of you know, in India, when the national anthem is going on, everybody should stand on the place where you heard the announcement. Wherever if you are on the road, you should stand there, erect, in attention pose. You should not move. How many of you know that? You heard it? Yeah, isn't it? In the same manner, if the flag is hoisted only half size on the Independence Day, anybody who did that will be put behind the bars. You know that? That's Indian law in India. Yeah, if you by mistake you kept it at half, because on that day India got freedom. If you don't put it at the top, you will be put behind the bars. There are rules like that. In the same manner, you will see, you may say, what is this Indian flag? This is a cloth flag. No, that represents whole country India. Correct? No? Every country considers its flag important or not. So you will find that represents the whole nation. Similarly, the deity form of the Lord in the temple hall, one may be thinking is made of brass, is made of marble or wood or something like that. But this manifestation is one of the 5 expansions of the Supreme Lord. Like the Para, the Vyuha, Swamsha, there are different expansions. The 5th expansion is the Archa Vigraha, Archa Avatar, we call it. Archa Avatar means Krishna in the spiritual world says that I have expanded myself into multiple deity forms all over the world. And wherever anybody comes to these temples and bows down to me, praises me, I can hear it. I can hear the prayer, I can see the Shraddha, I can see the sincerity. So, therefore, when Lord Chaitanya saw the deity, he said, Pratimatu Vinay Sakshat Prajendranandan. He said, you are not a Murti, you are Sakshat Prajendranandan. And for that you need Chinmaya Drishti. Initially we have Jada Drishti, then Manomaya Drishti, then Chinmaya Drishti. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains in Deva Dharma book, you will read that. Jada Drishti means you see with the material vision, you will only see the material elements. Because our vision is what vision? Material vision. With material vision, what do you see? Material elements only. You can't see beyond that. And Manomaya Drishti means you have developed love for the Lord in the mind. Even before the altar opens, the form of the Lord will manifest in your mind. You will see that. Like Radha, Amita, Radha, Gopala, Radha, Kunjibihari. So if you have served the deities regularly, bow down to them, worship them, then the form of the deity will enter the mind of the devotee. See, mind, it doesn't enter so easily unless you love the person. Like mother serves the child, bathing him, dressing him, decorating him, sending him to the school. You ask any mother can easily see the form of the child in the mind because she's constantly serving the child. So those who are serving the Lord's deity form, they get the Lord in the mind. Manomaya Drishti, they can see it. They will very soon develop affection. And Chinmaya Drishti means seeing with spiritual vision. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santas Sadaiva Vidayeshu Vilokayanti Yamshama Sundaramachante Gunasparupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. He says that such pure devotees who have a Premanjana Churita, their eyes filled with sun of love, they see the Lord with affectionate eye. And they also carry the Lord in their heart. Sadaiva means always, 24/7. Even when they go out of the temple, they carry the Lord with them in the heart, wherever they go. In Pune, this Sankarshadarikari Prabhu, I went to his room. I saw he was offering a big obeisance. I was wondering to whom is he offering obeisance. Then I saw on the table, the deity was only 3 inches high. One Krishna deity carries a small box. Lord's deity form is only 3 inches high, only this much size only. But he has taken him very seriously. Right now, 3 or 4 inches max. Short, small, thin deity, Krishna, beautiful deity. So he carries with him, he puts him to sleep, he wakes him up, he offers him obeisances, brings flowers for him, offers boga for him. Morning he gets up at 2 o'clock. So 2:30 to 4:30 he completes his rounds, chanting. And then 4:30 comes for Mangalarti, sings Mangalarti, Narshinarti, Tulsiarti. After Tulsiarti, he will go to his room to worship the deity for the deity worship is 1.5 hours every day. 1.5 hours he has to worship. Then half an hour he prepare for Bhagavatam. Then he comes and gives Bhagavatam class. Comes to Guru Puja and then offers flowers to Prabhupada and then gives Bhagavatam class. So one brahmachari was telling me, Prabhuji, I want to meet Prabhuji personally. So I took him. So he asked the Prabhuji, Prabhu, some people say that if you get up too early in the morning, you will get sick. I just wanted to know, what do you think? And Prabhuji said, last 50 years I'm getting up at 2 o'clock. 50 years, he said. I've crossed 50 years now, he said. 50 years in ISKCON. I'm getting up at what time? 2 o'clock. And I'm not sick, look at me. I'm healthy, he said. That was his answer, practical answer. So nobody gets sick. Of course, you need 6 hours of sleep. We need to Like if you sleep at 8, you can get up at 2. Yeah, he of course sleeps at 8, 8:30 he sleeps. Some days it becomes 9, 9:30 for him. But most of the days 8:30 he sleeps. So if you sleep at 8:30, get up at 2:30. If you sleep at 9, get up at 3. 6 hours are good enough. And Goswami slept only 2.5 hours. We are not Goswamis. So you can sleep at least 6 hours, you can sleep. If some of you have health issues, you want to sleep 7 hours also, it's all right. Then you sleep a little early. Sleep at 9 and get up at 4. Correct, no? Then you get 7 hours of sleep. But Prabhupada writes in one purport, I asked Srivasandra Prabhu, what Prabhupada says, what time you should get up, Prabhupada says?
4 a.m.
Prabhupada says, all devotees in ISKCON worldwide rise before 4 a.m. Like that, Prabhupada writes in one purport. It's findable, it's not difficult. You can find out 4 a.m. Prabhupada writes. Why 4 a.m. Prabhupada says? It's Brahma Muhurta. We should rise in the Brahma Muhurta time. Because in see, this Brahma Muhurta is the most vital time of the day. You can see here, he said 70 minutes before sunrise. The Shastras say that this is the most appropriate time to give up our sleep. Brahma Muhurta ya nidra sa punya kshayakarani. If anybody is sleeping during the Brahma Muhurta, especially between 4 to 6:30 also, 4 to 6:30, if you are in the bed, punya kshayakarani, your punya will be finished. He says that all the pious credits you earn will be finished if you are going to be sleeping at that time. And this is the reason why devotees become weak in ISKCON. Because those people who sleep very late at night and get up very late in the morning, they lose their punya. Because therefore gradually they become very weak over a bit of time. Then he says, Varnakirti Yasha Lakshmi Swasthya Mayushcha Vindati Brahman Muhurte Sanjagram Chiyam Shriyam Va Pankajam Yata. He says that if you get up in Brahma Muhurta time, you get beauty, wealth, good health, long life. And his body becomes beautiful like a lotus. And it is a fact, actually, many Prabhupada disciples were faithfully rising early in the morning. You can see that the bodies have become very Brahminical. You see that? Very Brahminical bodies. Brahminical bodies means by the way they walk, they talk, they behave, you can easily see that, that the body is very much different from, it's like a demigod body. I used to say, some of the Prabhupada disciples, when I saw, what is his name? Bhima Prabhu in Juhu, I was thinking, just put one mukut and kundali, looks like the Brahmani. Looks like some demigod, correct? No? Yeah. There are many ISKCON devotees, you see, they almost look like demigods. No? That is because Brahma Muhurta, one who rises regularly for decades together. No? Their beauty, wealth, good health, long life, everything will increase, he's saying. And there is no influence of any grahas. Graha dosha is not there, the Brahma Muhurta time, he's saying. Not only that, he's saying the pranavayu and apanavayu are active in the morning. And therefore, actually the effect of the outside world is not on you in the morning. How many of you have seen in the early morning traffic is practically nil? That means not only road traffic is nil, people's brain traffic is also nil, because at that time everybody is sleeping. In the daytime, all the jivas get up and all are doing WhatsApp and Twitter and Facebook, everything is on. Their minds are a lot of interferences there all over the world. There's a global gossip going on during the daytime. At that time, try to chant, the global gossip attacks you. Whereas in the morning time, can it attack you? Why it can't attack? Because everybody is asleep. That's an advantage also. Yeah. See, this time is compared to the period between Garbhavas and coming out of Garbha, of a child. So the bad influence that we got during our stay in the womb on physical and mental levels, like genetic disorders and all, those disorders can be very easily cured if you get up in the morning, Brahma Muhurta time, and bathe your body, with shower on the head, and also perform dhyana, yoga, meditation, chanting, all these things. Those who do spiritual activities, they can clear the genetic disorders, especially if you do it in the early morning hours. And in Brahma Muhurta time, he also says there are 6 chakras you all know. The bottommost chakra is called Muladhara chakra. The topmost chakra is called Brahmarandra. So the Brahmarandra releases 1 drop of Amrita every morning in our head, in the Brahma Muhurta time. If you're sleeping at that time, you missed it. You lost the opportunity. But if you rise early in the morning, take a bath and sit and do some dhyana sadhana, he says. That means meditation, chanting when you do. Then the Amrita which emanates from here, it goes to the Navi, he says. How it goes to Navi, only you have to study the Yoga Shastra. He says it goes to the Navi and nourishes the whole body, he says. He says, and in this way, you are physically, mentally, spiritually become very potent and powerful. This Amrita Bindu, every morning it nourishes your whole system, he says, by rising early in the morning. The three things have to be combined, he says. That means Brahmamurti have to get up. Only then the Amrita Bindu, Dhara, you will be able to benefit. Second thing, you have to take bath and sit and do some yoga sadhana. It's not that you are in Brahmamurti awake, you are watching cricket or something. That's not very helpful. Isn't it? You have to do Brahma sadhana also. And it has to be spiritual also. Then it has an effect. Not only that, in Akasha Marg, the Brahmamurti is the time when the daily personality, like devatas, fly in the sky. When they see anybody awake, they give blessings also for the early wakers. It's a special blessing. Because there's one song about Lord Rama. Shri Ram Dasharathatmajam Prameyam Sita Patim Raghupalan Mayaratna Deepam Ajan Babu Arjunda Dharayatapsham Nishachara Vinashakaram Namami. See, Nishachara means those who keep awake at night. Nishachara Vinashakaram, Lord Rama kills those who are awake at night, he said. Because who are the fellows who are awake at night? Huh? Who? Asuras, yeah, correct. Asuras become stronger after the twilight, evening time. After 6 or 7, there you see beer bars, permit rooms, correct now? Brothels, cabaret dances. People go in the daylight, they go, or in the night time they go. Night, yeah. Because it is what time? Tamaguni time. Those are very active. So those who are bhaktas, they should sleep with the sun, get up with the sun. They have to sleep very early. One good advantage I heard in America, Indian IT people, they start their work at 5 o'clock in the evening, and they have to be awake till 12 at night. And after 12, the American call ends. Then 1 more hour, they have to sit and wrap up what they did. So 1 o'clock, they finish the work. Many of them in India. Even if they are at home also, work from home also, they have to be awake like that in India. There's a big curse in India for the people. But the same Indians, if they come to America, I heard that you don't have to keep awake. Correct? No? The job doesn't go beyond 8 o'clock at night. Correct? Yeah. So that's a big plus point for all Indian boys when they come to America. That means America is very conducive for early to bed and early to rise. Correct? If you want. But one very bad habit, even devotees have, even brahmacharis in temple also, I scolded the devotees, I tell them, their habit is, after night dinner, they have a habit of talking. Eating late and talking late, till 11 o'clock or something like that, 11:30, like that you talk. Then you won't be able to get up in the morning. How will you get up? Because you are sleeping very late. Now some of us may say that only devotees, people are coming to temple, you have to talk to the guests, you can't send them away. Actually, we are also holding them, for them also it is bad. For us also it is bad. So therefore, generally speaking, we should keep the weekend programs early and start early and end early so that everything can be wound up by 9, 9:15, 9:30. We should throw ourselves to bed by 9:30. There is one video which shows, I'll just show you this 1 minute. It's a 3-minute video only. See there.
Why are successful people waking up?
I think I have to sound. I have to check whether it's coming for them. 1 minute. Check the sound. Oh, sound has to go. Okay. You can see this video. It's on my video.
At 4 a.m. and not a different hour. What is the secret behind it? Well, they know how their brain works, and they take advantage of their brainwave states and brain chemistry. The brain produces electrical patterns, often referred to as waves. When you're first awake, your brain operates at around 10.5 waves per second. The range from 8 to 13 hertz or cycles per second is the alpha stage. It's been called the gateway to the subconscious mind. But when you wake up this early, you are between theta and alpha. The mind is capable of deep and profound learning, being fully aware and focused with an effortlessly calm mind. In other words, you don't have to work as hard. You are not thinking. You just relax into the moment. Another important fact known by all successful people is when you wake up, your subconscious mind is most impressionable and soaks up information like a sponge. Whatever you hear, see, or are exposed to in the first 20 minutes will affect you and set the tone for the rest of your day. This is why they meditate, listen to affirmations, and not checking their social media and emails so early. They choose consciously their tone of the day, being focused and positive and not being distracted. They choose to go to bed early and use the premature hours of each day in their own advantage. They make up a routine of waking up before the sun starts to shine and go to sleep after the sun goes down. Why do they go to bed so early? Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is where you can get the most from regenerative and deep sleep. After 2 a.m., sleep lacks the quality that you need as it becomes more superficial, chronically depriving your body of the regenerative sleep which you can enjoy between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. makes you wake up in the morning even more tired than when you went to bed. The human body is closely linked to the day and night cycle. That is why, within 1 or 2 hours after sunset, your melatonin levels start to rise. This is how your body is telling you that it's time to go to bed. At midnight, melatonin levels reach their highest value, and after this, they start decreasing gradually. 10 p.m. is when your body reacts as a result of the increment in the melatonin levels. This period of transformation in your sleep cycle brings along a more intense metabolic activity. This one is responsible for the repair and restoration of the whole body. In order for this 10 p.m. reaction to take place, your body needs to slow down, which translates into reduction of your mental and physical activity. If you're still awake, there is a phenomena that takes place at this hour called second wind. This is caused by the rise in mental activity and energy that your system has at 10 p.m. Nevertheless, you can only feel what the second wind's value is truly about if you are asleep at 10 p.m. Studies show that if you go past the 10 p.m. bedtime, you'll find it more difficult to fall asleep. Also, you won't be able to enjoy refreshing sleep, which will lead to significant weariness in the morning. Small things matter, so even the simple shift in your bedtime hour from 11 p.m. to 10 p.m. can make a huge difference regarding the quality of your sleep. Moreover, there are high chances that you'll wake up in the morning feeling energized and ready to start the day. This happens because you allow your system to go through its natural neurochemistry and you take advantage of this wave that it's on its way before 10 p.m. Moreover, your body also benefits from the metabolic changes that naturally take place as the clock ticks 10 p.m. If you are among those that usually fall asleep well past 10 p.m., you should consider changing the situation. Set up a goal to go to bed earlier by 15 to 30 minutes each week until you hit 10 p.m. bedtime goal. Early risers like Apple CEO Tim Cook, Oprah Winfrey, and Dwayne Johnson choose to greet the day at the crack of dawn because that's where motivation is created, and they don't need to ask for it. That silence of early morning hours is what helps them use their potential to the maximum. Successful people choose to use every minute available in a day because their life's purpose is higher than any other short-term pleasure or comfortable bed mattress. They instilled this habit of waking up early in their DNA because they understand how a strong and consistent routine can support a successful life. The human brain can work at its maximum potential when it doesn't have to multitask. The quality level of work is highly dependent on the level of focus. When there are no distractions and noises to disturb concentration, the brain has a great capacity to focus on certain tasks and thus generate a balanced rate between quality and work. Successful people are aware of this and they use their alone time in the early morning to take full advantage of their brain's functioning capacity. High achievers understand that premature hours of the day allow them to make better decisions as their energy levels are at their peak. Those who live a grand life understand that early morning willpower helps them to achieve high levels of discipline. A disciplined morning guides them towards a whole day of discipline, and this is exactly what supports their successful life. The peaceful and quiet time you get before the sun rises creates the environment you need in order to take care of yourself, which doesn't happen too often during the day. It's the me time that allows you to provide yourself with everything you need in order to successfully go through the day. As soon as the alarm goes off, you're facing a bump in the road, and it's up to you to get over it or not. It's up to you to decide whether you use your time in your advantage or not. When everybody else is still dreaming and sleeping in their comfortable beds, it's your time to shine. It's your time to get out of your comfortable zone and have that well-deserved breakthrough. The early morning hours are moments where you can be ahead of things without being distracted. It's a time where you can focus and pay attention to what really matters. It's a time where you can go past those old and narrow-minded thoughts that stopped you from getting the real taste of what this life can truly be. It is all on you, and you decide how to spend your life. You decide when your day starts.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt. We can't hear you.
Now it has become late now. It has become 9:40. I will stop here. Why did I talk about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and all? Those parts, the prescriptions are very difficult for us. But Bhakti Yoga is easy, but if you take it, like Jayadus Maharaj said in the ISKCON to Pune, one person, Maharaj, I heard in Bhakti Path there is no rules and regulations at all. And unfortunately, in our temple, they too much emphasis on discipline was there. Maharaj said, you see, in the path of Bhakti, there are no hard and fast rules, he said. But there are soft and slow rules, he said. He asked, what is that? He said, morning program. Morning program, chanting in the Brahma Muhurta time, attending bathroom class. These are not difficult, even children do that, it is not very difficult. But he said, if you want no rules, Maharaj asked, where is the place where there are no rules? If you are in India or America, you have to drive the car on the right side. India, you have to drive a car on the left side. Everywhere there are laws. Go to company, there are laws. Go to school, there are laws. Where is there no law? Even in the spiritual world, the only law is love. The only prohibition is envy in the spiritual world. Even there are prescriptions. So therefore, we should not take it lightly. The morning program, that's the whole thing. Morning program is best and whole spiritual services. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai. Radheshyam Prabhu ki Jai.